Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Cubbie Talk, your weekly roundup of the latest updates, rumors, and moves around the MLB that could potentially impact your Chicago Cubs. I'm your host, Freddie, and today we're going to be discussing the latest on the relief pitcher market and who the Cubs might have on their Christmas wish lists. We talk about that and more next. This week marked the beginning and the end of the winter meetings, which some people are calling the worst winter meetings so far. By the way, sorry if you hear any rough rustling. My dog joined me a little bit ago. Here to give you some weekly updates too. So like I was saying, winter updates, not too eventful. Pete Alonso to the Orioles, very surprising. Kyle Schwarber back to the Phillies, not so surprising. And then we actually had some relief pitcher moves, like I actually want to talk about today. Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. Wink. But 3 years, $70 million. That's a lot of dang money. It's a lot. I'm just gonna say that. Kyle Finnegan to the Tigers. Should have been Cubs. Really should have been Cubs. He's been linked to the Cubs for so long now, and he has experience. He has experience closing, which the Cubs need right now, and it kind of sucks seeing him go. Michael Soroka to the Diamondbacks. I actually really like the fit there. I think he fits in with the Diamondbacks. Very solid move for them. That's basically all we saw from the pitching market during the winter meetings. Starting pitching has been blocked up by Tetsuya Amai. I feel like the market won't really progress until he signs by January 2nd. Like I said, I don't think any other starters will sign. Michael King, Framber Valdez. I don't even think the trade market will progress, especially for starting pitchers, that much until Tetsuya Amai signs. But after the winter meetings, we got some other pitcher moves, like what was it? Tyler Rogers to the Blue Jays. They're pretty stacked, man. Tyler Rogers was on my wish list. And as soon as I put him on my wish list, Jeff Passan alert, Tyler Rogers to the Blue Jays. I don't know, it's such a good signing for them, but would have been such a good signing for the Cubs, if you know what I mean. He's just such a reliable, sturdy pitcher who will always come out and just shove. And he was previously with the Mets and the Giants this year, I'm pretty sure, and he put up some really good numbers. So I'm sure he'll do really well with the Blue Jays. And then after that, if I'm correct, the Tigers also signed Kenley Jansen, a veteran relief pitcher, but he still has the stuff there. I think it's a pretty solid signing too. A lot of people probably won't like older veterans signings because they probably don't think that's the way to go. But honestly, as long as he has the stuff, it's always a solid signing. But that wasn't the only one today. The Brewers they traded, if I'm correct, they traded Isaac Collins and Nick Mears for Angel Zerpa from the Royals. Did the Royals fleece? I think so, because Isaac Collins was 4th in the Rookie of the Year voting. So I'm just very confused there why they traded him. He's a very, very impactful bat, but you can always replace him since he was a rookie. It's not like he was putting up Kyle Tucker numbers, but he has so much potential. And Nick Mears, a solid pitcher too. overpay. Definitely overpay. I think Isaac Collins would have been an even trade. But pitching's expensive. And I guess the Brewers saw something in what's his name again? I guess they saw something in Angel Zerpa that none of us saw. But giving up Nick Mears too is insane. I don't know. With their pitching lab, he'll probably be a Cy Young next season. Let's just say that. But the Cubs, they also made a move, very surprisingly. It was actually while I was in chemistry class. They made a signing. Cubbie Milner, a lefty that was previously with the Texas Rangers. Let's say a lot of people on Twitter did not like this move. A lot of people everywhere did not like this move. I personally, like I said, as long as he has the stuff, I'm fine with it. I think it's a pretty good signing. And a lefty, you can never have too many lefties. His numbers aren't the best. Like his ERA is, it's average. I'm pretty sure it's 3.87. Or 3.67. But I like it. But I don't want these type of signings to keep happening. I'm fine with it. As long as it's one or two, I'm sure Jed's way smarter than me in this department, obviously, because he's been running baseball operations for years now. But people who probably don't have more knowledge are probably looking at a guy with a 3.84 ERA and saying that's garbage. And it's a trash bin move. Like I said, I like it a lot. It's only 1 year, 3.5 mil range, I think. 3.75 mil. It's not a lot of money. It's really not a lot of money for a relief pitcher. So even if he doesn't give you that much of an impact, here, thanks for the help. Here's your keys. There's the door. DFA. It's really not that bad. The Cubs have DFA'd players for way more money than that. Not way more, but more money than that. So I don't think they would mind that here. Even though they are kind of money pocketing scandals. It's a little harsh, but you get what I mean. I like it. I think he pairs pretty well with Phil Maton, which we got last month-ish, I'm pretty sure. That guy I was psyched about when we got him. I really, really like his stuff. And yeah, that's honestly what's been going on so far in the relief pitcher market. It's starting to pick up steam, for sure. It's starting to pick up steam. And I'm sure there will be other moves after I finish recording this video. So if you'd like to check out the latest updates, I'm probably going to be posting on my Twitter right here. You can check it out for just latest updates, quick updates. And yeah, next up, let's discuss what I would like to see the Cubs sign, or who I would like to see the Cubs sign, and who they might actually have their eyes on already. Let's get into it. All right, so the real question we're all thinking, who do the Cubs have on their Christmas lists? Well, I went ahead and created a kind of mock bullpen that I think would be most realistic. And I have 4 locks on here. So Daniel Palencia, because why wouldn't you have him? Phil Maton, who we signed. Cubbie Milner, who we signed. Colin Ray, who we signed an extension with earlier in the offseason. But I also wanted to bring in Porter Hodge. I think Porter Hodge has a high upside. He struggled in 2025, but I definitely think he can bounce back from that, and he would probably be a big asset, probably like a 7th inning guy. amazing. Next up, give me a little Caleb Ferguson action. I really like Caleb Ferguson because he's a lefty, and you can never have too many lefties. And since we're parting ways with Drew Pomeranz and Caleb Thielbar, supposedly, like they won't be coming back, I think he's a good option. He didn't have the best 2025, but I definitely think the Cubs would be able to turn around somebody like him, because that's what they do. And I think he's a solid addition. Yeah, that's Caleb Ferguson. And then, what is that, 5? Yeah, that's 5. Actually, no, that's 6. That's 6. So 7, I have Brad Keller. Brad Keller was definitely your best reliever of 2025. He has a very high upside, and he's just overall amazing. And both him and the Cubs have expressed interest of a reunion. But the only thing that's blocking the Cubs would probably be the financial side of it. Because Brad Keller is definitely going to get offers to be a starting pitcher. Because for anybody who didn't know, Brad Keller used to be a starting pitcher and was turned into a high leverage reliever type of guy with the Cubs. And teams will definitely offer him starting pitcher roles, and he'll definitely get a lot more money than he would as a relief pitcher. So I definitely think the Cubs could get outbid in that department, but I definitely want him back. And if he's willing to come back, bring him in. Bring him in, man. And then 8th, I have a kind of collection of players that I think would be nice. And I definitely have Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver, who was on the Yankees last season, had a 3.62 ERA, 8 saves, 72 Ks, and a 1.02 whip. I think he's a very realistic option for the Cubs. They would definitely go after somebody like Luke. I think he also has a high upside. Like looking at his stats in 2024, 2.89 ERA, incredible. 84 innings pitched, 103 strikeouts, 0.93 whip. You can see what he can be, and that's an incredible pitcher. I definitely think Luke Weaver could be a very realistic option. And then next up, Pete Fairbanks, which I definitely think could turn into a bidding war, which the Cubs are not good at winning. Pete Fairbanks will definitely be a very nice option. I'm just pulling up his stats real quick. He was with the Rays last season. He had a 2.83 ERA, 27 saves, 60 innings pitched, 59 strikeouts, and a 1.04 whip. Oh my God, incredible. He's like a dream pitcher for the Cubs. He's not that old. He's only 31. He has a very high upside when he's healthy. But the only problem there is that there is a thing, I don't know if it's speculation or a real thing, that Pete Fairbanks has a kind of, I think, a disease or something wrong, that his fingertips lose feeling in the cold, which causes him to pitch a little bit worse, which would be a bad sign for the Cubs because Chicago weather is very unpredictable and can get very cold. So that's a bad thing. But he's a dream pitcher for the Cubs. 97 to 98 average velo, which is just what the Cubs are looking for. And a very good guy that could come in and close a game. And Palencia could just turn into your 8th or 7th inning guy because there's a lot of pressure on Palencia to be that closer. And we saw how good he can be in the closing role, but it started kind of falling off towards the end of the season. P. Fairbanks is an amazing option. Sean Armstrong, he's coming off of a career year with the Rangers, because of course we're probably going to get all our relievers from the friggin' Rangers. But he is a really good pitcher. He has an amazing upside. He's a righty. He doesn't have the greatest velo. He's sitting about at the average, like 94-ish. But his ERA 2.31, incredible, just like Pete Fairbanks. 74 innings pitched, 74 strikeouts, 0.81 whip, only 9 saves, which means he's not really for that closer role, mainly for the 8th inning. So, in that scenario, you would put Daniel Palencia back into the closer role, probably, unless you trust him closing a game out. But, yeah, I like him. I definitely think he'd be somebody the Cubs would target. He would have about a $14.5 million contract for like 2 years. So definitely about the same as Phil Maton. And I think the Cubs would do that. Definitely. He was with the Cubs originally, actually, in 2024. He didn't have the best season, 4.86 ERA. But we can see what he can do. We saw what we can do. I'm stumbling over my words. We saw what he can do. And what he can do is really good. Sir Anthony Dominguez. That's my next pick. And probably my last. He's a righty. His velo is incredible. 98, 97, 3.16 ERA. So good. Okay. 2 saves, 62 innings pitched, 79 strikeouts, 1.28 whip. So definitely an 8th inning guy. Definitely an 8th inning guy. His velo's there. His ERA's there. His whiff percentage is there. His chase is kind of down. So is his walk. His walk is pretty bad, his walk rate. So that would be kind of bad in that department. His hard hit rate is above average. Barrel rate. So yeah, he would match up pretty well too. He's another pitcher which I think would turn into a bidding war. Like I said earlier, the Cubs aren't winning anything like that. I definitely see his contract being in the 15 to 18 million range. Definitely 15 to 16 the Cubs would pay. 17 would probably be overstepping. 18 would definitely be an overstep. Which would probably be Pete Fairbanks' market. So that's why I think Pete Fairbanks is kind of a unlikely scenario, but one can dream, could they? So yeah, my bullpen would be Daniel Palencia, Phil Maton, Porter Hodge, Hobby Milner, Caleb Ferguson, Brad Keller, and out of all the pitchers I've listed, I definitely think Luke Weaver would be the one to come to the Cubs. And then lastly, Colin Ray for your swingman to come in and eat innings. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good bullpen. I like it. We'll see what we can get from Hobie Milner and Phil Maton. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap up the episode for today. I had a fun time, discussing all of these relief pitchers and where they could end up. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the episode 1. Next week, I'll join you guys probably Saturday or Sunday to discuss what lies ahead for the Cubs position-wise and the bench options. Hopefully more leaks and rumors and updates come out throughout the week so I can have more to talk about, obviously. But I want to talk about Alex Bregman, the 2 Japanese players whose deadlines to sign are coming up really fast. It might actually end early the 23rd, 24th, which is not a lot of time. So yeah, that's that. I guess that's the episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys in episode 2.